and welcome to In the Garden.
Hello.
I'm Nicola and
Mark.
This is Mark. He's the sickite. It's a very quiet fortnight, not a lot happening. He was in Canberra last week, came home and brought COVID with him. Yay.
And proper COVID. Yay.
Yeah, so anyway, it's going to be a light on episode. We'll have a quick look at the bulbs. Got a few plans that are afoot. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to update you what we're up to.
It's very windy and very cold.
It is. So we're not going to hang around out here very long because he's a sickite. We do need to go and get the last of the pumpkins out of the garden today. The frosts, we've had 2 light frosts again this week, so they're not doing them any favours. Anyway, we'll talk to you through the episode. Bye.
We've started our bulb planting. It's June. It's because the weather's been so mild up until this last week. We've had pretty close 3 days of minus frosty weather, so you can see some of the plants are starting to burn. You see, Nicola will show you the pumpkins and the other tomatoes that were out in the open just got smashed. They're gone. So, but yeah, around that 3.8, minus 3.8, I think was the coldest. But we've had frost all week. So finally, after a very mild autumn, we've got winter. Which mild autumn was lovely, but I've been holding back planting the bulbs. I've got the tulips in the fridge, in the crisper, so they'll go out tomorrow. And Nana, actually, Mum, had some old daffies that had been in a pot and hadn't been lifted for years and years and years. Anyway, for reasons to her, she decided she didn't want to go on with them, so they dug them up. And she said, "Oh, would you like them?" I said, "Oh, yes, please." So I've put them in here near what will be the pond. You can we haven't done a pond one for a while, but you can sort of see what we're trying to get to. The black plastic's still a bit, how you going, but getting the plants, and so I want to get it all very bushy and native-y, and so there's really no ground as easily seen. So the daffs, Mum's daffs are going in there. And we got that little tree. It took us forever to keep it alive, but it's finally taken. Olive there, we got olives over there. Place is scrappy. The canna's there. Geranium in the corner. We got some anemones that were left in there from last year that didn't do so well, but anyway, they've self-struck, so that's good. The papyrus, I think it is, and then another little water plant in a pot there. Anyway, no fish. Dad's rocks from days gone by, and anyway, Dad's coconuts from days gone by. They're in his barn when it was cleaned out. Anyway, we're getting there. The dappies are in there, so hopefully I've had some gladdies in here and they've gone really good. So hopefully we'll get a good show. Okay, we're into June, so I've had these two, the tulips and the Dutch iris and the crisper in the outside fridge, chilling down. We've had our first full week of frosts, very late frosts this year. That's Nicola's hyacinths that we moved earlier in the year. We planted them out straight away, so they've got a few years growth on them, those bulbs, and cycled. So about to put the Dutch iris and the tulips in there, so it's a new bed for them. That does need soil, but was a little bit of an emergency transplant, so with those. So anyway, we'll see how they go. We got some new hyacinth bulbs as well. These are our daffs that we lifted last year. These are ours, so they've gone through about 2 or 3 cycles here. 3 years actually. So they're not as good as we've got some new bulbs which are big, fat and healthy looking. And I've got a bug on my phone. But anyway, we'll get these in and see what we can do this year to get some daffies and jonquils. Nicola's up there chasing the doggies around the yard, and we moved the veggie pod. So it was up by that little gate. Now we moved it down here. And then we've bought the other compost bin that we were using over there, or pallets compost, compost bin, and put it next to that one, so we got 2. So they're very, very rudimentary. They're just literally pallets made into a U shape and then lined with plastic. Very Ma and Pa kettle, that is correct. So I've put some cardboard down to create a base. So we'll get some grass in there to get him set. This one's been going along this year, so we've only had him. It's only been this last 12 months, this one's been here. And we've got him, like he fills up and then settles down and fills up. Haven't turned him over for a while, so that's probably something we should do. But yeah, so if we get them both running in tandem, we can have one full and being used and doing its composty thing. And then the next one being filled up, and so yeah, so it'll give us a good amount of usable soil. And we've got actually self-set lettuce in the veggie pod that has so far avoided the frosts, which is good. The little cover does its job. And I think Nicola took a photo of the pumpkins before, but yeah, looking from the gate side. With lots of glare. Oop, there, that's better. We got the two of them there. We'll mow the track, clear the pumpkin out of the way there. And yeah, that'll give us 2 compost bins. Okay, out the front, and you'll have to excuse the voice. Been a little bit croaky the past week. So one of the few times I've ventured out for a while. But these are the beds out the front, and you can see the irises. So we're on bulb watch. The irises have come up, and the bed is very unkept. The blue iris was from last year, and we didn't lift the bulbs. So we have a couple others in there, which I'm trying to remember if we'd put any daffs in there. The gladdies have all died back on that one. Same on this side, you see the gladdies. So I'm not going to lift the gladdies in this bed either. We're going to try a bit of an experiment and just leave them. Needs a lot of love, it really does. Some of the irises are coming up here. Not as well struck as in the other bed, but anyway. And we've had a week of wind, and it is, whoops, driveway. And there goes the dreaded gate with its dodgy wire, which is still holding. Yeah, it's been dry and windy. Although we did have more rain this June. This is our 3rd June of taking records at Stormhaven. We did have a bit of rain, but yeah, I think about 27 mils for the month. So anyway, now in these beds here, I planted the daffodils that we lifted. So that one still hasn't come up, but he's a week later than this one. So this was quite surprising. So they've gone quite well and have come up. So they're all lifted bulbs. I didn't hold much expectation with them because they didn't look too flash last year. We come up here. Everything's looking a bit unkept at the minute. And it'll be a little bit longer too before I get to do too much. Just pooped. So, good tip, stay away, don't get ill. Doesn't do you much good. All right, so that one at the back, is the iris, Dutch iris. In the middle is the tulips, and at the front end is new bought daffodil bulbs. So we've got these are hyacinth bulbs that we lifted last year and replanted very quickly. So anyway, that's the bulb update.
All right, so we've actually come out the back. We've got to collect some wood. We actually have run out. Hey, baby. There she is. There's our Daisy girl. Looking very happy. She's had some hay. One of the things we do have, and they seem to be multiplying quickly, we've got termite mounds. So we have to do something about those because we don't want lots of termite mounds here. So I have to have a think about what we can do. But while we're down here, one of the jobs we do want to do, we're going to get Daisy a shed so that in the horrible weather she can get out of the rain, the frost. she's got somewhere nicer to carve. So we're thinking, sorry, I just gave you a sky view then. Down in this corner here, just got to work out which way the rain tends to come. It'll also mean we're going to move the yards, and we need to get a little crush. Nothing big, nothing huge, but big enough so that, like, you know, when we go to do her vaccinations and stuff, she's not keen on standing still for those things. So to keep our Daisy girl in her best health, we need a crush. So it's one of our next purchases. Okay, so I'm back in the car again. I seem to spend a lot of time in here. Can you see all the mandarins on the tree? We've also got a glut of lemons. Most of the oranges are gone. We ate some, the birds ate most. We have some limes left too. So what I've actually done this last week is I have actually ordered a set of fruit leather trays. So the idea is I'm going to make my own homemade roll-ups. So one of the jobs I've got to do is I've got to go and denude the mandarin before we lose what's left of the harvest. And I need to probably do the same with the lemons. I've got actually a job for the lemons. We know somebody that's chasing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of lemons. So we're going to do a couple of shopping bags for them. I probably could make some lemon butter. It's been a while since I've done some, so maybe that's on the cards too. I actually have eggs and I've got butter, so I can make lemon butter. Anyway, so my next job is collect mandarins. I don't know if I'll get it done this episode or the next, but fruit leather is on the list. Okay, so it is literally a case of get the bolt through and then screw it on, and then the last one. Now, one of the problems I am finding is these have been sitting outside, so they've kind of bent a little bit, so I'm having to use a bit of force to get them through, which you don't normally need, but as I said, these have been sitting for a while, and this last bit here has actually flattened out a bit, so I can just get it to line up a bit more with the screw or the nut, whatever. I can actually get it through and on. And sometimes they don't go in quite so well. Nearly. I'm going to be a bit careful because I don't want to hit my hand or cut it, but so almost through. And trust me, there is always one that goes flying. I can see it, I just need to grab it. Yeah, like so. It's also threatening rain, so which really isn't helping. We're trying to get as much of this outside stuff done as we can early so that we can go back inside, because, I mean, obviously Mark tested negative yesterday, which is great, but we don't want him to do too much and get sick. So get this piece on like that. Then we need this bit here. This is the hardest part when you're doing it on your own, is it's a bit like working by braille. until you get the first one on. That. Okay, so we'll tighten these up and then we'll put the last one on. So it is literally 3 nuts and a bolt on each side of the corners to fasten the moulded plastic corner piece. Now, and you'll probably go, you know, it's plastic, it won't last well. Well, the first lot we put in, we bought 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they're still holding up really well. There's no rust in them, which is really good. And we have them for vegetables, we have them for bulbs, we have them for all sorts of things. So they really do hold up quite well in the weather. So, and of course, we're not sponsored in any way by them. I will leave a link in the description down below for these particular ones. As I said, they're $28 each. So it makes them a very cost-efficient bed. Right, I'm going to go and finish putting this one together, and then I can start on the next one. I'll show you the first one when it's done. That's the first bed put together. Yeah, it took a little bit longer. We short a nut, which, I mean, happens. But I've had others where I've had extras, so I just had to sort of rat through my handy-dandy toolbox to find another. So I got 2 more to go, and all our rectangle raised garden bed, as I said, $28 from Bunnings, and the link will be below.
Okay, generally we're planting some more bulbs and anemone and ranunculi, and then we've got hyacinths and daffs and a couple of others we haven't done before. Sparaxis and freesia we have. Freesia again. So these are the leftover grey hyacinths. They're really good actually. I quite like them. But particularly for the anemone and the ranunculus, it's good to soak them for 2 to 4 hours before you plant them. Don't over soak, otherwise they can rot and will rot quite easily, as we discover over the years of practice and trial and error. But yeah, it's a good idea. Give them 2 to 4 hours before planting. 2 new beds put together today. We've got a third one over in the vegetable garden. But these are full of bulbs, so more daffs. These are the new ones we bought, so we're a little bit later than what I'd like. Hyacinths, grape hyacinths, freesias, anemones and ranunculus, and sparaxis, which we've never planted before, but seriously late. They should have went in back in autumn. But anyway, we'll see how they go. As I said, they came with the other bulbs, so I didn't realise that they were slightly different because we've never tried that one before. Anyway, we'll try these beds and see how it goes. So we got a load of our own local our own homemade compost on the bottom, and then some potting mix on top we've bought. Start to fill them up, and then yeah, see how they transpire.
Okay, so we'll keep this really short and sweet. We actually are at the end of the episode.
Hi.
Mark is getting better. He's improving. He's still not 100%, but
Dancing a jig.
he did test negative yesterday for COVID, so yay!
I'm not dead yet.
No, you're not dead yet. So, in this episode, we've done things like, I've showed you the mandarins, we've chopped wood, we've done bulbs, I put the new beds together.
Yeah, we filled the new beds.
We filled the new beds.
And then We put more bulbs in.
We did put more bulbs in. It's really been a quieter episode. There's not really been
Quite a bit of bulbs.
not a lot of exciting stuff because...
We've been bulbing at the seams.
So,
So we have been very steady.
yeah, we have. So, next episode, you'll get to see the fruit leathers. I've ordered the trays. They'll be here soon. If you have a really good recipe, I'd be really interested to hear. I found a few, but I am keen to see some others.
Sounds good.
Anything you want to add? No, we might let him stop talking. And we'll see you next time. Bye. And just like that, it's the end of another episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you found something useful in it, please feel free to like this video. You can also comment down below. We do love to talk to subscribers. If you found something useful or you think you've got a friend who might find it useful, please feel free to share this video with them. And of course, as always, you can subscribe to our channel and that way you'll never miss out on what we're getting up to here at Stormhaven.